So notice how none of the components that you see on this front page are visible in the index.php file, because the only thing that this file does is it sets up the overall application environment and then passes it over to the router and dispatcher. Now, a nice thing about the new 1.8 release is that you do not have to set up the router and dispatcher manually the way you had to in the previous versions. The only thing you have to worry about is getting your model view controller uh, set up together properly, and once in a while you will have to worry about the bootstrap file, which I will go over in the next set of tutorials. So what you're looking at here is the default index controller and index viewer that the ZF command line tool created, and that is located in here. This is the controller, which is empty, nothing is going on, and this is the view that you're looking at. So this code here corresponds to the source code in the browser. Notice it's the same thing. So how did it know what to pull up? Well, the default controller is index, so without typing anything after the public, it automatically assumes that I want to go to index controller, which is located here, index controller. Notice how it has the name of the controller and then the word controller after it. So this is how Zend Framework finds the controller class. You put the name of the controller in front of the word controller, and you extend Zend controller action. So then how does it find the view? The view is located inside the folder views, scripts, controller's name, and then the file takes the name of the action. So again, this is our controller, and it has individual actions inside of it. Again, the default action here is index action, so when I'm visiting here, it actually goes into index controller, index action, and then the HTML code from the view is being picked up same way. Index controller, so this part and this folder name correspond with each other, and then this file name corresponds with the action name inside of the controller. And again, notice how the word action is after the actual action name. And you can see that they correspond with each other if I actually put something there. Now, like I said before, you don't ever put in any echo statements, but just to illustrate a point that they correspond with each other, I will put in default index action, and let's see if it shows up in here. Here it is, default index action. So indeed, this is the action instead of index controller responsible for generating this page. Now, how do you get beyond the default index controller? Again, in the previous versions you had to do the work manually, but with new command line tools you can create the controller and the action with simple command setf create controller, and you always create a controller first. So let's say I'm going to create a controller called books, or a book, because I'm going to make a simple library application where you can add, edit books. So I'm creating a controller called book, and I'm going to refresh this, and you see the book controller pops up. It doesn't have anything in it. It has the index action as a default action. And let's see, there should be a new folder in the views corresponding to the controller. Yes, here it is. And then the view for the default action shows up. So to navigate to this controller, I'm going to type in books, or book rather, and here we are. View script for controller book script action name index. So there you go, it created a controller book and it created a default action index, as well as a view for it. And just to show you that this is indeed the file that corresponds to the book controller viewer from default index action. There. So this is the default index action. How do we create our own action? Again, we're going to refer to our command line tools, and we're going to create an action. ZF create action, and we're going to add. So we want to make a facility to add a book, and then this here is the controller name. So we're creating an action add instead of controller book. And just for the completion's sake, add, edit, and delete. So now we created facilities to add, edit, and delete books. Now let's see what actually happened here. Okay, it just tells me that there's some changes made to the files. Yes, indeed. Look at the public functions, or methods rather, it created inside of our book controller. Add, edit, and delete. It should have done the same thing inside of our views. Yes, indeed, it created a template .html file for each of the actions that we created. How do we access them? We access them with a /. There. So notice that, as I said before, this part here would be your root directory of your HTTP server, so that your users don't poke around where they should not be. And the action and the controller are separated with this /. And by the way, this is accomplished with the help of Apache's rewrite rule. It breaks down this URL, takes out the /, and the first section is the controller name. That's in directory controllers, the first word before the word controller. And then the second part is the action part, that is the name before the word action inside of your controller class. And just once again for the record, the HTML output is located in views, scripts, the name of the controller is the folder, and the name of the action is the file name with .html extension. And that is how Zend Framework's model view controller works.